The fluorescent lights of the library hummed a relentless, droning tune. The clock on the wall showed 1 a.m., its hands creeping forward with agonizing slowness. Lucas stared at the open textbook on the table, but the words had long since stopped making sense. The pages blurred together, a meaningless soup of formulas and theories that swam before his eyes. Each line he tried to read felt like a physical weight, pressing down on him, adding to the bone-deep exhaustion that had settled into every part of his being. The weight of his part-time job, the crushing pressure of his advanced calculus class, the ever-growing mountain of assignments, it all felt like a current, dragging him under. He felt like he was failing, not just at one thing, but at everything. The air in the room felt thick, heavy, and he could barely draw a full breath. He finally packed his bag, the simple act of zipping it up feeling like a monumental effort. The walk home was a blur of streetlights smearing across his vision, and the cold night air biting at his cheeks. He unlocked the door to his small apartment, the click of the lock echoing in the profound silence. Dropping his heavy backpack on the floor, he looked at the neat stack of textbooks on his desk, waiting for him. That was the final straw. The sight of them, so stoic and demanding, broke something inside him. A wave of despair washed over him, hot and suffocating. He slumped into his desk chair, the strength gone from his legs, and buried his face in his hands. The tears came then, not loud or dramatic, but silent, hot tracks of defeat, carving paths down his face. A single, choked sob escaped his lips. He couldn't do it. He was done. This impossible climb wasn't for him. He was going to drop out. With trembling fingers, he pulled out his phone. The screen's cold light illuminated his tear-stained face. He opened his messages, his thumb hovering over his best friend's name. He began to type, each letter a confirmation of his failure. "I can't do this anymore," he wrote. The words stared back at him, stark and final. As his thumb moved toward the send button, his gaze drifted upward, away from the screen's harsh glare. It landed on a small, framed photo perched on the corner of his desk. It was a picture of his parents, taken last summer at a family barbecue. They were standing side by side, their arms around each other. His father, a construction worker, had laugh lines etched around his eyes, but his hands, resting on his wife's shoulder, were calloused and rough. His mother, who cleaned office buildings late into the night, was smiling a genuine, radiant smile, though the exhaustion was visible in the faint, dark circles under her eyes. Their faces were tired, etched with the story of long hours and physically demanding labor. But above all, they looked proud of him. A memory, vivid and warm, surfaced from the depths of his mind. He was a boy again, sitting at the kitchen table, struggling with his math homework. His mother sat down beside him, her hands smelling faintly of cleaning solution. She pointed a gentle finger at the page and then looked at him, her eyes soft but serious. "Study hard, Lucas," she had told him, her voice a quiet, earnest plea. "Study hard so your life can be easier than ours." The memory was so clear, it was as if she were whispering it in his ear right now. Then came another memory, this one a sound, the jarring, insistent ringing of his father's alarm clock. It wasn't the 7 a.m. alarm of a normal workday. It was the brutal, pre-dawn shriek of 4 a.m. He remembered hearing it through the thin walls of their house every single morning, followed by the soft creak of the floorboards as his father got ready in the dark, trying not to wake the family. The sound of that alarm was the soundtrack to his father's sacrifice, a daily call to a grueling job that wore down his body but built a future for his son. The weight on his chest shifted. It was no longer just the weight of his own exhaustion. A new, heavier weight settled in its place, the weight of their immense sacrifice. Quitting wasn't just about him anymore. It wasn't just about him escaping the pressure, the late nights, the feeling of drowning. If he quit, what did that 4 a.m. alarm mean? What did his mother's aching back and tired hands mean? He wasn't just letting himself down. He was letting them down. He was telling them that their decades of relentless, back-breaking work were for nothing. Slowly, deliberately, he moved his thumb to the backspace button. He deleted the text, letter by letter, until the screen was blank. He wiped the tears from his face with the back of his hand, the motion firm, resolute. Taking a deep, shuddering breath, he reached out and pulled the heavy textbook toward him. He opened it to the bookmarked page, the formulas and theories no longer a blur. His struggle didn't magically disappear. The calculus was still difficult, the hours were still long, and the exhaustion still lingered at the edges of his consciousness. but his reason for enduring it was now crystal clear, burning brightly in the quiet of the night. He had found a new, fierce determination, a resolve forged in the memory of his parents' love. He was no longer studying for a grade. He was studying for a promise.